So they tell me that there's a graph of displacement, it's incomplete, and the position of the roller end follower. So your roller end follower, that is it in its starting position. Okay. Vertical, horizontal, those are just your center lines. Okay. As you can see there, they're telling you that it is in your starting position. Please remember, it can start in any position. Okay. Whatever that is, that will always be naught. Can't be 30, can't be 60, it's always naught and 360. Okay. So it tells you from 0 to 60, the follower is at rest. Okay. Now, if we have a look, where is it? It's in the middle of my page. So I'm going to bring this lightly across, and they tell me from 0 to 60, it's at rest. So there it is there. Okay. They tell you from 60 to 120, it rises 28 millimeters, uniform motion. So if I come along here and I measure up, 1028. Okay, it goes from 60 to 120. So there's my 120. Whoopsie. I just want to erase my whoopsie. Okay, so there it is, uniform motion. It then tells me from 120 to 165, it's at rest. 120 to 165, it's at rest. So I know between 150 and 180 is 165. So I go and find half of that. And that is 4 millimeters because they tell me it's 8 millimeters. So lightly up. And dark. That's it at rest. Okay. They tell you from 165 to 255, it falls 56 millimeters, simple harmonic. Okay? So that means from here to 255. So 255 is between 240 and 270. Does that make sense? That is again halfway. So I know from there to there it falls. So I'm going to take my compass. Now I could do this on either side of my circle. It does, or on my, I'm going to draw a circle, half circle, either side of my graph. It doesn't matter. I don't like drawing into the writing, but you can. I just don't. So I'm going to put my compass there and touch there, and I'm going to draw half a circle. Okay? I've written 165 and 255. Okay. So I know that this here is 265, or sorry, 165, and down here at the bottom is 255. Okay. Now, can you see that this is 15? Because it's halfway. I have to go and do the same to these two. I can't have 15, 15, and these as 30. So I'm going to go and divide these two also into half. Because it has to be equal. It can't not be equal. When you share food, you share half. You don't give someone a quarter, that one a half, that one nothing. You share equally. So in between 180 and 210 becomes 195, and then 225. Okay, are we fine with that? So now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces that I need. So if I need 7 pieces, it's quite easy to divide. I'm going to come along here. and 60-30 everything. And quite easy, I've gone 165, 180, 195, 210, 225, 240, 255. I'm going to take those to the actual numbers that they are. So hopefully you should see my plotting points are created. Can we see that? So I can come here in my best freehand. Okay. They tell me from 255 to 300, it's at rest, so it does nothing. Okay. And then from 300 to 360, it returns to its original position with uniform motion. Please excuse the gap that's left between motion there. So I bring my starting point across to 360. And that's my graph. So what would happen? 1 mark, 2 marks, 3 marks, 4 marks, 5 marks, 6 marks, 7 marks, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 marks. Okay. They tell me that the rotation is clockwise. So what I'm going to do with my compass, I come here and I make a dark random piece. Clockwise. Now, if my cam is going clockwise, my numbering goes anti-clockwise. Because what is happening, this is turning this way, my follower is going the other way, if it makes sense. So, 0, 360, 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180, 210, 240, 270, 300, 330. Okay. Up to there, we all good? Okay. So now, what I'm going to do, I like to work in stages. So I work halfway and halfway. So I know this point here is 30 to 60. So I'm going to go 0 to 60. I go and write it there in pencil. Where my graph touches 90 over here, I'm going to bring that line across, and I go and write here 90. 120 to 165 is up at the top, so I come and I write 120, 165. And then I would bring my 180 line, which is in between, and I come and I write 180. Okay, does that make sense? So just for those at home, I'm going to put it in pen. I don't like doing it in pen, but I will do it today. So 0 to 60, 90, 180, 120 to 165. Okay? I put my compass in the middle and I open it till it touches each of those arcs. So I'm now going to draw a very light line to 60. Come to 90, very light line to 90. And then to 180. I don't really have to worry about the 120 to 165 because it's the outside one. Can you see that? Okay. Okay. I've got 165. So look what happens. I know 165 is 15 degrees. So if I put my ruler here, oh, it's not helping. Can you see that? Okay. So if I take my 30-60 ruler and I put it like this, can you see? That gives me in between 150 and 180, which is my 165. They tell me over here that my roller diameter is 12 millimeters. So these plotting points, and I'm going to use my blue pen so you can see it. Um, 120, 150, 165. Can you see my blue dots? That is the middle of the circle. So they tell me it's 12. So I've got my little circle stencil here. And I'm going to come along, oh, that's 13, almost through the wrong circle. And this circle is a light circle.
So for your dots, basically like every line that it cuts through, is that basically where you're putting the dots?
That's right, because it's the center. Sorry, that one is a bit off. I don't know what happened. Okay, so there I've gone from 360 all the way to 180, just with very light circles. The other day, a student did ask me, can he just take radius 6 and from all of these just measure down 6 millimeters? Yes, you can. Okay, but I prefer to see the circles because it helps me see it. Okay, I'm then going to do the exact same, but going the other way. So now I will come along here. So remember, I've already got 180. I'm going to come to 195, and you'll see 195 is very close to 90. 210 is the same as 060. 225. 240. And then I've got 255 to 300, remember? And then I go backwards. 330 and 360 is where it is. Again, putting my compass in the middle. And again, I'm going to arc everything to where it's supposed to be. Now remember, we don't have a 195 yet, so I'm going to leave 195. I'll arc 210. I don't have a 225. I will arc 240. 270 is part of my 255. So I will now go and do those. Okay, so remember, I need now my little 15s again. So the first one that I want to go and do is 195. So if I put my 30-degree ruler like this, put my 45 like this will give me 195. Okay? Between 210 and 240, which is 225, I can just use my 45 like that. And then the last one that I need is 255. If I put my 60 ruler, look what happens. See, oh, doesn't help me, doesn't help me. Can you see? So how are we now going to get that one? Because check there, can you see? That's not going to help me. That's not going to help me. If I do it this way, can you see that's going to now go through there? So if I put my 60 ruler, can you see that will now help me that way? So there's lots of different ways to use your rulers to help you position. I can now bring that through, and that gives me 255. And now I can go and curve my last few. So I'm going to start off with 195. There's 195. 210, I've got 225. Whoopsie. So just checking that I've got everything. There's 195. There's 10. This is 225. Okay. I've then got 240, which is here. I now need to do 255 to 300, which is here. And I can come back. There's 255, 270, 300. And then I can do my last one, which is 330, which is over here. Again, if you've got colored lead, this is where your colored lead would help you quite nicely, because you can go and put your plotting points with colored lead. And now again, lots of little circles, diameter 12. Please remember your circles are light, they are construction. Please also remember circles can go over each other. I had a student asking me the other day, also about my circles go over each other. Yes, they can. There's no rule that says they're not allowed. And once you have all your circles in your best freehand, you come along and you draw it. Okay, so that's your Loci. Again, just showing you, you get a mark for all of your plotting. You get 2 marks for construction. Sometimes we will give you a bit of a mark for that nice curve. You then get a mark for bringing all your construction over. Half a mark for all of your plotting points. Then sometimes this will be worth 1, 2, 3, or 4 marks. And then very importantly, sometimes they will do this, sometimes they won't. You must section your shaft. Sometimes in the question they will say to you, please section the shaft. Sometimes they don't. And that's that drawing done.